Hello, welcome to today's Inktober. We are doing prompt number 4, which is the word exotic. And we need to get going today because I am not doing an exotic dancer, which is possibly what some of you thought we were going to do. No, probably not. What we're going to do is some exotic plants, and that'll depend on where you live. In my case, I'm just going to do some fun, big, giant kind of monstera palms. Now, the best way to do these, let me teach it to you, and then we're just going to fill in around the edge here with some monstera leaves. The best way I found to do it is to make a leaf shape, so something like this, and then cut into the shape like this. And maybe put a little kind of line here that has another hole perhaps. Then with an eraser that you trust, here's mine, you erase the parts of the leaf that have the little indents. I'll show you what that looks like. So you're left with this gorgeous monstera leaf shape. Now, if you're super confident and you're like, oh, I don't need to go to all that faff of kind of tracing it and putting it in and then erasing it and whatever, that's fine. If you want to as well, you can just go ahead and give yourself some long bits of grass. Nobody's judging. Maybe even one that comes up, ends at a point because it's twisted over itself. Maybe something like that. I'm going to put another, quite a big, I'll try to do it, no I won't. I'll try to do it without drawing it, she said, sillily. All right, let's do I'm going to do quite a big one here that comes up like, and goes back down. So I'd love to know if you had a different kind of plant in mind, maybe some cactus. They're exotic. If you don't, live in the desert. And maybe I'll do kind of one here-ish, just to fill in that little space. And frame it out a little bit. I can always add stuff in another time. For this one, I'm going to activate some of my greens. Some of my yellows, some of my blues. Let's be honest, I just activated everything. But I'm going to go in with my lightest colour first. And I'm going to avoid the holes that I also drew in. I thought this one would be a little easier to ink in first. And if it's the first time you've inked in first, you're going to find out if your ink is waterproof. Now it should say on the side, this one says waterproof, but you do also have to test them. So it's a good idea to kind of test as well. See how we just lifted up a bit of colour there? This is like its slightly bigger friend. And I'm just using just a bright green, missing those holes. I'm using cold pressed paper on a sketchbook, which means I do every now and then kind of put my finger on the page to kind of keep it down a little bit. Keep it down in there. A little bit of phthalo turquoise. Just going to drop that in while it's still wet. If you don't have a phthalo turquoise, I'm not expecting that you do, I'm just telling you what I'm using. Go and put a little bit of blue with your green. Oh, so much cat hair. And you can see, again, I'm using a big paintbrush and I'm not at all worried about staying in the lines. A lot of good things happen when you don't follow the rules. A lot of fun things. How nice is that? It's really taking shape. I love it. So I've got these grasses here. A little bit of yellow, a little bit of orange. And a little bit of cerulean blue. Just to have some fun with it. A little bit of orange, a little bit of yellow, a little bit of cerulean blue, and we have this kind of seaweedy, kind of grey look. We can drop some of that in there as well, as though these ones are getting old. Drop a bit of clean water in there if you want a bit more texture. This is meant to be fun and easy, and let me check, it is meant to take 10 minutes. I don't know about you, but I have been leaving my setup in my studio. I've been leaving my paints out and my sketchbook out so that I can come and just add a little bit of detail each day. This is how you start a habit. This is how you start your day off on a positive note. It's low pressure. It doesn't have to be perfect. In fact, progress and practice end up being the things that you're looking for and not perfection. So hopefully you feel a little bit more confident today on the exotic day than you did on the backpack day, but join me for tomorrow when we have the word binoculars.